Everyone is passionate about something, whether it's comics or Pokemon, movies, or your favorite sport. In this podcast, we talk about many things. Mostly, we delve into comics and comic-related subjects. Come with us and find out if you're in love with a nerd.
God, I'm in love with a nerd.
Hello! Welcome to You're in Love with a Nerd.
Oh my God.
I'm Travis. This is Jen. And with us today is Katie.
Hey, that's me.
How's it going, Katie?
I'm good. How are you guys? I'm so excited to be here.
Did I startle you?
Yes, I'm terrified right now.
Oh.
You brought me into this nerd shed, and I'm pretty sure you're going to murder me.
Not until we get the show out.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Let me get one last hurrah, and I'm good.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Sorry. I was waiting for Katie to answer.
I'm not used to you being over there, so I
I
turn my head away from the mic. I got a bit of a range, but not that much.
I don't have much of a range. I jerk back and I'm taking everything with me.
I'm chilling. I got all these stuffies. I'm good. There's a couple puppets that genuinely strike fear into my heart, but other than that, I'm fine.
Nothing compared to Barbie.
Barbie's got some stories behind her. And
I love her.
Frightened.
At some point, we need to pan the camera back just to see all the stuff that's behind you.
I love it.
But
it's fantastic.
as it sits right now, nobody knows what you're talking about.
Oh no.
Yeah, we only get to about the top of everybody's heads.
It's like back in the day, auditory mediums, guys. But you have a camera. You guys upgraded. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I don't have one of those.
Indeed. Is there, so let's start with, we were just talking about horrible mutant powers.
Yeah. Jen brought up the fact that she was talking to another friend of ours that... Bogwitch, yes. Our friend Bogwitch, which universe you'd like to live in, whether it was Avatar was one of them. I said when I was a kid I really wanted to live in a Marvel universe, but the older I got, the more I think that that's a terrible idea. Not only is that a horrifying existence because the world ends over and over constantly, and also Squirrel Girl's there, but also...
So the Squirrel Girl omnibus is out next week.
I heard. Trust me. People let me know about Squirrel Girl. And you know what? I can't think of a better time to really lay down, bury the hatchet with my relationship with Squirrel Girl. I'm trying to not be as angry of a person anymore, and I think that's a good place to start.
I mean, it could be worse. Have you ever read those books, the Anita Blake series? Where, it could be a rat shapeshifter.
Oh, God.
How bad can it get, right? You got wolves and panthers and tigers, and that dude's a fucking rat.
You know the Archie, horror series? They should do that with Squirrel Girl. What if she was a rat instead? Oh, no. I hate it. Just the worst what-if series you've ever heard before. I hate it so much.
She's a seagull.
Ew. Oh, God. Can we talk about gross things if they're scientific on this show?
We can absolutely talk about
Okay,
gross stuff.
So
I don't know. Our
as long as it's
sponsors
not
might
tea.
pull out.
Oh, okay, cool. So, so if she had so if she was a seagull, she would just have a cloaca. So she would just be constantly randomly shitting throughout the entire
Every time she needed to take off.
She just. I hate it so much. But I would honestly be a lot more entertained, and I would probably enjoy myself more. She's just not for me. Then that's okay.
She would be. She would definitely amp up the dynamic between her and Tony Stark.
Yeah, he's always spitting on his stuff.
She becomes his arch nemesis.
Flies over him. He's
Thanos, step aside. The real villain is here. I hate it so much.
Because he's vain. So to have your sidekick.
Oh my God. No, that's a real villain origin story. That's everything was fine, and then he lost it when he just murdered Seagull Girl really fast. Oh no! Do you think she'd lay eggs? Do
seagulls lay eggs?
Seagulls do lay eggs.
They are a bird.
But do they lay eggs?
Birds lay eggs? It's not like, fuck you, my brain is broken.
No, it's okay. It's totally okay. But I know that chickens lay eggs just 'cause. Do all birds lay eggs if they're not fertilized?
Yeah, I think that's a common thing.
I think that's just a thing that they do.
Know all
yeah,
birds
she's
laid
constantly
eggs,
laying eggs and shit. But she's a person, so they're like an ostrich. So they're like a little smaller than an ostrich egg. Ugh, no.
What's in her egg?
I hate her egg. Like, it's just an egg. Like,
I just started rewatching The Kids in the Hall. You ever watch that show with the chicken lady? There's a drag queen that I love who her name is Jinx Monsoon, and she's done a lot of amazing work. She was on Steven Universe for a little bit. She's really cool. But there was a video series where they would have drag queens read mean comments, and she was like, "You look like the lady from the chicken lady from Kids in the Hall." I do. I really do. And then just moved on with the to the next comment. You know what? You're right. I absolutely do. I was a little bit Kids in the Hall is a little bit before my time. So I
think she just called us old.
I don't mean to. I know.
Hey man, it came out in like 88. I wasn't even in middle school yet.
So Kids in the Hall, I think that's my only reference to Kids in the Hall, because every time somebody tries to talk to me about Kids in the Hall, I'm like, yeah, that sitcom show that a couple black creators made, and that's where Jim Carrey got his start, and I'm fully thinking of In Living Color.
Oh no.
I'm like, that's wrong. I think that's wrong.
Now I'm just imagining a combo skit with the chicken lady and Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh God.
Was it Bill or?
It was Fire Marshal
Bill.
Bill. Yeah. I love Fire Marshal. Oh God, that was so good. I love it. Why'd you bring me on this show?
For this.
Oh geez, I don't know. I think that maybe. Okay, so if we get to reimagine our universe, like pick which universe we get to live in, do we get to pick exactly where we get to go in that universe? Because if so, I'd really like to be in Lord of the Rings, because that could go really, really well for me or really, really badly. So
I would get eaten by the giant spider. I mean, I know he doesn't live in, like, the Hobbit town or whatever, but I would still die. Like, I would wander off too far and get shot by a farmer. Like, something.
But would you want to be a hobbit?
No, that sounds awful.
What?
What, just hanging out in a hole in the ground?
A
wonderful hole, eating pastries
I
and
don't
gossiping?
like food and their
right.
feet. No, they don't wear shoes.
Oh,
I
that
need
is
a
true.
place that wears shoes.
A whole race of people
foot-
with no shoes on.
Your foot is basically, oh gosh.
No, that is my nightmare.
It's your personal hell.
Yes.
See, I would love to live in Hobbiton. I think that would be a really convenient, cozy existence for me. But knowing myself, one of two things would happen. I would try to befriend the Ents, and they would immediately murder me because I think they're so cool. Or I would move to Erebor, and none of you would ever see me ever again, and I would just live in the mountain, and I would never come out ever in my life.
That the guy that rides the rabbits, he's got like the
Radagast?
dog. I want to be him.
You just want to be him.
You just want to be a wizard? Well, yeah, everybody wants to be a wizard in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I don't even care if I don't get magical powers. I don't care if my only power is to change into a seagull. I just want to ride a sled with rabbits on it.
You're like, no, I just want those rabbits. I don't need any of the other shit. I love it so much.
He doesn't get involved in the politics. He just lives in his little hovel, playing with his rabbits. That's it. That's all he does.
Just does the wizard shit, man. My mentor and I, so I'm working on a full tattoo bodysuit. And my mentor and I are talking about what we're gonna do face tattoo wise, and we've since scrapped this idea, but we were talking about having like dwarven architecture going into my cheeks, like a natural contour thing. But he scrapped that idea because dwarven imagery is really Nordic, and that can come off very white supremacist. And but I really love the idea of being like, of somebody being like, oh, did you get that because you're Nazi, whatever, and being like, actually, this was on the front gates of Erebor, so how about you shut your fucking mouth? I like that idea of checking somebody with Lord of the Rings in that way.
Well, we mentioned that before, didn't we, on the show, where anybody that is into like Norse imagery is either the nicest person in the world or a Nazi.
Yes.
And
there's no in between.
Exactly. The exact same thing can be said for Gaelic or Celtic imagery. Either you understand what it's for and you understand the significance, or
you're a piece of shit getting the Morrigan tattooed on you, and it's like, that's gonna go badly.
Oh man, don't do that. Like, if you could just like not, that'd be cool. Like, it's one of those things as a tattoo artist, now that I'm tattooing, when people are getting things on their body that's such an intense, like, you understand spiritually in a lot of ways, that's such an intense thing to do, and people just put the most random shit that they have no idea what it means on there, but they saw it on Pinterest one time and it's really cool, and that's fine. People, I am of the ilk that everybody should get at least one really stupid tattoo. I can't show my really stupid tattoo because your video will get taken down, but I mean, but it's so interesting to me. Like, I got a guy that wanted that got a Vigvisir on there, but that's kind of the cool thing about specifically Norse mythology, is it's ironically a very open practice.
Right.
And it's so interesting. I don't know. I just think people are silly that way. Sorry, tattoo rant.
Everything.
My bad. Wiggle.
I just like that you just randomly wiggled the table.
Me too, I promise. Yeah, so I don't know. No.
I'm setting stuff on it and then shaking and making noise.
Promise we didn't have an earthquake or anything. No. I'm trying to think of another world that I would be okay with living in. I can't live in Harry Potter Town anymore. But I actually did a TikTok recently where my outfit and my makeup that combination was very slutty Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, where I was hitting on Hagrid and Flitwick, and then I said, hey kids, like, trying to give the impression that I was hungover, and I was like, hey kids, so I know I said there was going to be a test today, but I just found out our god's a transphobe, so class dismissed. And then I just passed out on my desk.
Oh man, yeah, that's kind of what happened. Huh?
Yeah, like you just find out that God. Yeah. Imagine just finding out that there is a God, and then they care about some
he just
really
specifically
stupid
hates
thing.
you.
Like, could you, like, thinking about religion, like, finding out, like, no, actually, he really cares if you eat pork on Fridays. And it's like, wait, why?
He's eating bacon right now.
Like, what do you mean? So funny. I can't.
And I think that's the downside of all those, like, fantasy worlds, because, like, you have super active gods.
Yeah.
And they're almost always done after the Greek gods. Mm-hmm. And anybody that knows anything about mythology knows that's not the gods you want to pray to.
No.
They're assholes.
No. Why would you? Like, that's the thing. So I'm not super into deity magic. That's not a realm that I've been like super accustomed to or anything. But it's when people work with Greek or Roman deities that I'm like, you're kind of built different. Like, are you okay? Like, who hurt you? Like, this god specifically? Okay. I'm not here to judge. I'm not judging anybody's practice whatsoever. I'm just, oh my God, dude. Like, I can't handle you guys.
No thanks. No. I don't want to worship a guy that I'm worried will turn into a swan and attack me.
Like,
no thanks. Not today, Zeus.
I need a god that understands consent. Like, I don't get it. Oh, man. I don't think I'd really mind living in Norse mythology universe. I don't know if that's disrespectful because it's not exactly a fandom, but like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but
that's fine.
I don't know, but there's just a chance that I'm going to randomly get turned into a horse, or that I'm going to randomly become rain personified if I piss off a god. Like, I'm not gonna...
Better than being trapped in a box or turned into a fucking spider. I mean, like,
I don't know. Arachne was kind of cool. Yeah. And that's why wind whistles is because this one chick, pissed somebody off. It's not like, oh, now she's just all spiders.
Well, and I think part of the problem with the Greek stuff is it's not always because you pissed off a god. Like the story of Amethyst. She got turned into a crystal because she was trying to get away from the Daga, or not the Daga. Who's the drunken guy in Greek? Bacchus. She was running away from Bacchus, and Athena was like, I'll help you, and turned her into a rock. Can't rape a rock. And she's like, what the fuck? Now she's a rock for all eternity.
Now I'm a rock.
I want that to be a band name so bad. I'm so upset. Okay, but are you conscious as a crystal? Because that's a horrible existence. But if you're just a rock now, like, tight.
Okay.
Like, I'm okay.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, jeez.
You're right. If you don't have consciousness, what do you care?
Whatever. I'm a rock now. Like, I'm just doing rock stuff.
And you get to drink in everybody's wine because they throw amethyst in their wine because they thought it could keep you from getting drunk.
How do you react? How would you, Jen, and you, that guy over there,
she knows my name,
handle being reincarnated? Say you get isekai'd into...
Oh, God. I die.
No. Say you get isekai'd into, like, the Twilight universe.
I die.
Oh,
you're just immediately die.
I'm gonna just run out in the woods and be like, come here, somebody come get me.
Someone please take me out of this existence.
I just don't want to be here anymore. Like, there comes a certain point where when you find the dad more attractive than the other leads, you are officially too old for Twilight.
Charlie Swan, though.
He's just over there trying to be his best dad self. Don't hang out with that boy. He's creepy. And everybody's like, no.
Just being a rational human being throughout the entire thing. Like,
no, I'd rather this stranger didn't marry my 17-year-old. What do you mean that's a problem?
Can we talk about how there's this lady on TikTok who is psychoanalyzing Bella and Edward's relationship with their child, but she keeps saying their child's name wrong every single time. She keeps calling her like regrettable or like reptar or like
wonderful
or just anything that starts with an R. She's like, that's Rosemary Basil, she calls her one time, but she keeps talking about how the only reason they care about this child at all is because of it's an extension of their partner, because they have a really unhealthy relationship with a really like codependent relationship with their partner. And it's making me kind of want to go back and read the books again and like look at it as a horror story.
Have you read the new one?
No.
They did. So it's even worse now. I haven't read it, but so she put out a 700-page redo of Twilight from Fucknut's perspective.
Oh, yes, I have heard of that. Yeah, and it's way scarier.
Eduardio. What the fuck is his
name? Yep.
What is his name?
In here, it's Eduardio.
Cedric Diggory. It's all from Cedric Diggory's point of view.
I keep forgetting about that.
But like when she goes, like he stalked her in Arizona before she even came to Washington.
Yeah.
Like he was following her around because she came and visited her dad once. And like it's 700 pages of him stalking her.
This is a child.
So they just like retconned it.
Yeah.
That he.
Well, they didn't retcon it. Like, so he stalks her in the first book, but she wants him to stalk her, so it's romantic. But like he's watching her sleep and shit all throughout the first book. Now they're doing the first book from Eduardio's perspective. What?
His name's Edward. Yeah.
Okay. I knew it was
it's
Ed
Edward.
something.
Yeah.
But then I got stuck on Full Metal Alchemist, or my brain would not leave. So the first book is the whole series is all from Bella's perspective. And so it's a first person, you don't know what's going on in their minds, and now we've redone it. And they're hoping they get to do the whole series that way.
This is just going to become...
And no.
This podcast is just going to be us making Travis read the Twilight books. And just him reacting to it the entire...
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
So
I was reading things out loud from my potato smut book. I read a potato shifting erotic story where a shape-shifting wolf mated with a shape-shifting potato.
Okay, so what were the forms when the coitus happened?
Depends on their mood. At one point, he was just a potato rolling around on his chest. At one point, the wolf carried him in his mouth.
Oh.
And then the potato got pregnant. But they're both male. But then the potato got pregnant.
Okay.
And it's glorious, and you need to read it. Guess what it's called?
What?
All I Want for Christmas is a Fingerling.
That's a hell of an album name.
Isn't it great?
It's okay. So hear me out. Can potatoes feel love?
This one could.
This one definitely can. Okay.
And he lives in a whole universe of like perverted veggie tales. There's pea shifters and green bean shifters, and they all mate with animal shifters. So a bear fucks a cauliflower, and it's a beautiful thing.
So is this like a species thing? This isn't just like some people are into animal shifters. Some people are into like...
I don't know. The dude put a potato in this guy's pocket, and then they ended up having sex and a baby. And
You're like, I don't
know what happened.
You read the book.
I read the whole book, and that's all I know.
You're like, I don't understand.
Except there's this one part.
Yeah.
Where so if Mr. Wolfie guy.
Okay.
If another Mr. Wolfie guy thinks that they should mate with Sexy Wolf Man.
I'm so into this.
They can challenge Sexy Potato Man to a battle. And then they get in a little circle, like a samurai ring. Or not samurai, sumo ring. They get in a little circle. And the potato has to fight the wolf. The potato...
I'm so in.
...has to fight the wolf.
Yeah.
For like 2 minutes or something. And they just fucking do Benny Hill's intro. The potato rolls around on the ground until he smells like dirt and just rolls around in the circle, hiding from the wolf until they're out of time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what else do you do in that situation? Okay. So, say you are... Okay, so the sex happens when he's a potato.
Not all the time. Sometimes he's a person.
Okay, sometimes are they both people sometimes?
They are both people sometimes.
Okay.
Yes.
So really sexual orientation isn't really a factor anymore. Like, so then what is it you're attracted to? Exactly, just the soul of the person.
It's that whole fated mate thing from werewolves.
Oh.
They have no choice. He has to be with the potato. The universe has spoken.
There's some sick like higher power that's like, you potato. This is your soulmate. I hate it. You know how mad I'd be? See, this is the Marvel argument all over again. You know?
Nope. You lost me at how is sleeping with a potato the Marvel argument?
Doctor Strange. No, I'm just kidding. No, so like, duh. Like,
all right.
Okay. No, so it's the concept of being born with a superpower, but having a terrible superpower. Being born to where the universe picks your paramour for you, the person that you're meant to be with for you, and it's a fucking potato. Are you kidding me? Like,
and the wolf didn't even want him.
Listen,
there's a guy named Jem, and he's the only name I remember in the book because I'm envisioning a potato with a pink wig. All right, so
yeah,
Jem is pink. We've established that. That's canon now.
Okay.
And so Jem was like, "Hey, I think you two would be great together." So he picks up the potato, sticks it in the wolf's pocket, like all sneakily, and the wolf gets home and he's like, "Why is there a potato in my pocket?" And then it turns into a man, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
So it's just like, pardon the expression, but just thrust upon him. Like, here,
yes, he is. His mate is put in his pocket.
Man, I found love on a pot farm, so like, you know.
Did somebody put him in your pocket?
No, I can't tell that story on here. I was praising Jesus, and I was having a really hard time praising Jesus, and I was having like a really bad time praising Jesus, and out comes this half-elf Shaggy from Scooby-Doo hybrid with a beer and a burger that he made me. And he's like, "Hey, you look like you're having a hard time." And then I just followed him around like a puppy for the rest of the time we were on the farm, the entire time.
That's awesome.
But we, no, love makes you do crazy things. Do you remember, Travis, do you remember when I was showing everyone those Chuck Tingle books? Are you guys familiar with Chuck Tingle?
The Vampire Cough.
Yeah,
I read
you
that
read
one
those,
to you
don't
too.
you?
That's a different.
I read that one to you too. I keep reading in these parts like I follow him around. And I'm like, listen to this bullshit.
He's really into gay dinosaur erotica. He's really into gay helicopter erotica. He's really into unicorn on human erotica. He does the billionaire Triceratops craves gay ass. Is the one that I can remember.
The one I want to read is the one that has no sex in it at all. Mm-hmm. And it was like that time I dressed up like a Pokemon and didn't get nailed because cosplay is not consent. I was like, you go, Chuck Tingle. I haven't read that one yet, but it is on my list.
It's erotica with a message.
Right. There is no sex in it because cosplay is not consent, and it is glorious.
Wait, let me try this again. Erotica with a message. I'm Katie. Thanks for being here. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I've read those. There's another one called Triceratops and Bottoms that we talked about last week. Have you read it?
No.
Don't.
Oh, okay.
Gets a time machine.
Okay.
And fucks her way through Jurassic Park. And then they take away her time machine. Duh. Yeah. You're not allowed to go to the zoo and sleep with the animals. It's kind of frowned upon.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so show me a rule where I'm not allowed to do that. Show me the written down policy. I will Karen out right now.
I can find you one.
I promise you it is written down somewhere.
Oh, God, somebody tried. But... And so they take away her time machine, so she hooks up with another girl, and the two of them go through Jurassic. Like, it's a week sleeping with a Triceratops. That's it.
Okay, so I have a question. I have several questions, but how does dinosaur on human work anatomically?
She just kind of crawled under the pterodactyl as it flew and helped herself.
Okay.
But she had a bond with the Triceratops. He was lonely.
Okay, so okay. I'm going to another place right now, and that's not a place that I need to be on camera. I can only be so turned on. I'm just kidding. sorry. I haven't done a podcast in a really long time, so I'm like, okay. So, hear me out.
Now I'm scared.
I think that Star Wars is a terrible place to get reincarnated into.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's awful. So, there's like a 1 in 4 chance that you're going to survive the first 5 years of your life.
Right.
Let's say you live in on an affluent planet.
Then you're going to get exploded because isn't the only like well-off planet blown up by Darth Vader in like the first episode?
Immediately. Or you are born into slavery in like 30% of planets, because that just seems to be all that there is in this galaxy.
Or you have to live on that ice planet. Or you have to live with Ewoks. Oh my god, what would be worse? Ice planet or Ewoks?
Okay. What's so bad about living with Ewoks?
That would get so annoying.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like living with little teddy bears. That
no
would be
thanks.
Infuriating. Oh
little
my god.
Teddy bears that until Luke showed up would just eat people?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Or you get to be... Okay, the one chance that you get to do something like really cool is you get to be a space wizard, right? And then you can't do anything else
Except all of the space wizards are murdered. There's only like 2 left.
Yeah, but you get to, like, if you're being reincarnated, you get to pick like the time that you live in there, right? Like how many specifications do I get here? Like I need to live on this planet, be born from this family. Like, okay. Let's say, okay, so if any of us were born into a Game of Thrones type universe, I don't think that any of us would live to be the age of 10.
I'm female. I'm done.
Yeah,
My
we're
life
women.
sucks
Like
anywhere.
If you're poor, if you're rich, if you're like anything, everything sucks. Okay, can I please be a...
Time travel's kind of a middle-aged white man kind of thing. Like, that's it. That's the only people that are
that's
gonna
true.
do
Most
well.
fantasy situations, yeah. Damn.
Even when you go forward, it's like they really like to bring things back. It's like, why are they so misogynistic to women? Well, it's just the world. Well, you made that fucking world. You could have made them suck less.
Yeah, like, ew. I think my personal version of hell would be to be reincarnated into Gilmore Girls. Have you guys ever watched that show?
Well, okay. Do I have to talk to Rory or Lorelai?
I don't think so.
Because, like, if you don't have to talk to Rory or Lorelai, you just live in Connecticut, which, granted, it's its own personal hell, but...
I cannot handle that. Okay, so that show, I've realized I was very inebriated the first time I watched that show, and it almost gave me a panic attack. Because I watch a lot of horror movies, I watch a lot of, like, thrillers, where the first 10 minutes of the movie or the show, everything's very serene, everything's really nice, everything's really picturesque, and then the ball drops. That's what that show is, except the ball never drops.
Not on anything important.
No, never.
But
it just keeps
it
going.
up to life or death. Like, somebody maybe has cancer. And then you're like, nope, nobody has cancer. Somebody maybe is going to die in a car accident.
It's like,
and nothing happens.
It's like if... Okay, so it is, in a media sense, that moment that you have whenever you're sleeping and you feel yourself falling backwards. It's what it is. I cannot stand that show.
With 2 people, well, actually, you to everything.
Oh my god.
Oh, you haven't read Kafka? What a peasant. Like, it is very, like, I'm smarter than you because I read The Art of War.
I worked at a nerd shop for a really long time. That was most of my existence. Like,
okay,
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's what it is, like, the entire time. One of my favorite moments of that was somebody came up with a Broly model. And I was like, oh, Broly, that's so sick. I just watched this movie. And then he asked me if I watched the Broly movie. And I said yes. And then he told me the plot of the Broly movie. And
oh, well, you wouldn't get
to
it.
which I kept saying to him, every time he was like, and then this really cool thing happened, and then this happened, and then Vegeta and Goku had to like fuse, and I was like, yeah, I know, I watched it. Like,
no,
I know.
I missed it because I was painting my nails.
Oh my God, it's my favorite. And now
you have to start at number 1. You have to start at number 1.
So Kyle did that with us with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So he kept talking about JoJo's over and over and over again. And Kyle likes to do this thing where he suggests something to the point where I don't want to watch it anymore. So after, Drew and I, Kyle wasn't there that day. So we were like, you know what, let's watch JoJo's. And we watched the first 3 episodes of it, or the first 2 episodes of it. And we're like, this is a very homoerotic story about 2 fancy boys. Like, why does he like this? And then vampires. And we're like, okay, this is mildly interesting. And so we watched the first 2 seasons and we're like, this is pretty good, whatever. And then the 3rd season happens and it's incredible. And like, I understand how iconic it is. It's why every single time you watch an anime, there's a JoJo's reference in it because they created a lot of anime tropes. And I asked Kyle, and Drew and I asked Kyle, we said, why didn't we start with this? And he turns around like Gollum and he goes, no, you had to earn it.
You had to earn it.
I was like, okay. And that show, that manga, is something that I didn't realize I needed because it's so homoerotic. It's so silly, but it's got some of the most fucked up, twisted body horror I've ever seen. There's way more dead dogs in it than I thought there was ever going to be in an anime I'd ever seen in my life. That was, you had to get used to that really easily. But that was one where I was like, you know what? It would be really fun to be a man in this anime. To get reincarnated into this exactly, but I can't. No, but again, we're women. We can't get reincarnated into that.
I could live in the Kuma Kuma Bear universe.
Yeah?
I could be Kuma Kuma Bear. She just hangs out in a bear snuggie.
Oh, yeah. I remember
you
guys. Yeah, see, that sounds great. That sounds wonderful.
Until you have to carve up a dead animal. Never mind. See, I can't do anything.
See, I can carve up a dead animal.
She hired that little girl to do it for her.
Hi, little girl that you can hire me to do it for.
All right. So Hannah and I are Jazz Hands and Bogwitch, and you and I are Bear and Cub.
I love it.
Solved.
Perfect. And then Travis is here.
Yeah. I'm just
he's our ride.
I'm random NPC.
We call Kyle generic human number 27 all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There was this time that I was in front of the tattoo shop and I had my window up, but I was just going through the r/One Piece, and this guy and generic human number 15 walks up to me and like taps on my door, just this random dude, and he's like, "Can you give me a ride down the street?" and like mumbles where he was going, and I was like, "No, sorry, sir, I have to go pick up my newborn baby and 12 puppies from the police station in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Like some stupid, like I'm gonna be missed if you kidnap me." And he just shuffles off in the opposite direction of the place he was trying to get me to go.
Well, he's got to find a ride.
Yeah. Okay. So, and he was asking for a ride down the street. So I was very confused. So I made a TikTok about it. And so many people, like 40% of the comments were like, that doesn't mean he was a serial killer. Because I said...
But it doesn't mean that he wasn't.
We live in Washington. There's an 80% chance everybody's a serial killer. We live in the Pacific Northwest. They're all serial killers.
And I made the joke of, if you're going to try to turn me into a lampshade, do it with your whole chest. And... they like don't like be so lazy about it. Like Bundy wore crutches and a sling sometimes. Like try. And people got so mad at me. They were like, he could have just been like, he could have really needed your help. Like, doesn't mean he's a serial killer. You don't have to make fun of him. Didn't know this man, didn't like have any context except for what I said. And they're like, no, you're the wrong one in this situation. And I'm like, man, should have given that guy a ride. It really would have helped out. You know what? This is why I don't want to live in the fairy tale universe, because in the fairy tale universe, oh my God, that was a fae creature that was going to give you some reward.
Yeah, no.
You stupid bitch. Like, how dare you not give me a ride?
Instead, Zeus is going to show up and hang outside your front door.
Oh my God. Get out of here, Zeus. Okay. I have the worst universe. I win. Have you guys watched Record of Ragnarok yet?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. Do you know the preface of it, or the premise? The premise is all gods, regardless of religion, are in the pantheon of gods. And
so kind of like the whole American gods thing?
Exactly.
Like everybody exists. Okay.
Exactly. So every 1,000 years they decide whether or not they want to continue with the human race or if they just want to scrap the whole thing. And this year they've decided to scrap the whole thing. And then a Valkyrie shows up and says, there's a loophole. We're going to have 12 one-on-one battles with the 12 most powerful gods versus the 12 most significant the most powerful people in human history.
Jeff Bezos has got to go find a
Exactly. So
that's why he built that mech suit.
The first team, God versus human, is going to get 7 wins. If humanity wins, they get to live for another 1,000 years. If they lose, gods get to kill all of them. But the Valkyries create divine, fuse their bodies with the humans so that they can wield divine weapons that are also the Valkyries,
right?
So that they can stand a chance. And the second, and so
you get to fuse with the Valkyrie.
Yes.
What's the downside?
If you die,
Valkyrie.
if you die, you and the Valkyrie cease to exist. You don't go to the next realm. You do not collect $200.
Okay.
You just die forever. You and you're also responsible for killing a Valkyrie. So good job. One of the first ones is Zeus versus Adam. And it's who's voiced by Matt Mercer, which I actually cannot handle because I've been in love with that man since I was 5 years old. And so and that one happens, and then spoiler, second season, Buddha shows up, and Buddha's fucking hot. Buddha's so fucking hot. And he is just kind of and Zeus is really stressing out because humanity is just starting to get a win. They had Hercules versus Jack the Ripper.
Oh, I want this. I need this in my life.
It's so good, and it's beautifully done, and I'm just crying the entire time. Adam has this beautiful thing of he's the father of humanity, and humanity's oh my God, thanks, Dad.
So it's all of our people from not the most current. It doesn't have to be current people. It's just historical
throughout
history.
Yeah, people like Michelangelo, and
that's just mean. Why would you make a painter fight a god?
No. He's in the audience, and he's watching Adam fight, and he's crying because it's exactly what he pictured. And Buddha. But anyway, fast forward. Zeus is really stressed because humanity's starting to get a couple wins, and they might actually win this. And they've killed a couple gods now, including Hercules, who's
not a god. I mean, he's half god.
Well, that's the thing, is he chose to fight for...
They chose poorly.
Right, but Hercules... Exactly. No, you're not wrong. But he is Buddha, you're not gonna be a traitor. You're gonna fight, right? And Buddha, every single time somebody keeps trying to get a rise out of Buddha, it's just not.
Because he's Buddha.
Exactly. Like, he's the chillest guy. And he goes, yeah, of course I'll fight. Yeah, totally. And the announcer comes out and starts to describe, like, how powerful Buddha is. And it's very, like, wrestling match type of, like, and in this corner. And, like, Buddha, he's the be-all, end-all. He, like, transcended all this stuff. And Buddha snatches the microphone from him and goes, yeah, and it like feedbacks and everything, and he goes, yeah, so I'm gonna fight for humanity. Peace. Credits. We don't get another season for like another year.
Oh no.
I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed. I don't mean to spoil the whole thing for you, but that
sometimes for me, like, getting the spoiler makes me want to watch. Like, I had no desire to watch Lost. None.
Yeah.
At all. Until I learned the big spoilerly ending, and they were like, everybody's dead. And I'm like, what? I need this. And then you watch it, and it is 100% a Buddhist journey through the afterlife.
Yeah.
As soon as they deal with their karmic debt, they fucking die on the island. And it is the most glorious thing ever. And I love that series. But before that, I was like, I don't care.
I have
this
no
is
interest
stupid.
in doing this.
They're killing off the Hobbit guy, and
Yeah.
I don't care.
The other one that did, yeah, you're like, I don't care what's happening. The one that did that for me, have you guys ever watched the movie The Lighthouse?
No.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, so this movie...
I watched the other one that happens on a lighthouse that was done by the guy that did the Witch.
Yeah, no, that's the movie with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe.
No, okay. I'm thinking of it. There's a different one
Okay.
where this guy
Same
goes to a
idea.
lighthouse and then all these sea monsters show up. And
Oh, no, I know what
Yeah.
movie you're talking about, and it's really, really good. So the guy that made The Witch, he did a movie that with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. This movie is one of the best performances of either one of these guys' careers. They're incredible in this movie. First time I watched this movie, I'm like, this movie is garbage. Kyle, you picked this movie. You're not allowed to pick movies anymore. So the entire thing is in black and white, which I don't mind at all. But the first, I'm not exaggerating, 45 fucking minutes of this movie is Willem Dafoe runs this lighthouse. Robert Pattinson has come to work at this lighthouse. 45 minutes of Robert Pattinson busting his ass working on this lighthouse, and Willem Dafoe yelling about how he's not working hard enough at the lighthouse. Nothing else happens. And then Robert Pattinson beats a seabird to death, and then they get drunk and fight, and Robert Pattinson keeps yelling about Willem Dafoe's farts, and then they almost kiss. This movie would have been so much better if they kissed. And all this stuff, and I told our friend Corey that I was like, this movie's terrible. Like, the guy that made The Witch made this? Like, what do you mean? And he goes, dude, it's the Odyssey. Like, that's Robert Pattinson is Odysseus, and Willem Dafoe is Poseidon. Go back and watch the movie again. And I did, and it's incredible. Yeah. It's so good. But I had no understanding for anything that was going on, but it was to the point where we didn't let Kyle pick a movie for like over 3 months because we were so mad at him. I was
Sometimes
so...
Poor
those
Kyle.
land, and sometimes they only land, like, if you are familiar with because, like, I know people that absolutely hated the 13th Warrior, and I'm like, dude, it's Beowulf, and they're like, oh my god, and then they love it, and it's like,
of course, I had one of those with I actually did that with the Blair Witch Project. I had the same opinion that everybody has about the Blair Witch Project. It's incredibly 90s, but it's but it's, it's a cult classic, but it's not good. And then I watched a YouTube video from the film theorist who talked about this theory that there was never a witch. The two men in the movie were taking that woman out to the woods to kill her. And he was like, hear me out. And he explained the whole thing because they also came out with like a small novella of the girl's diary, which was like basically an extended universe for the Blair Witch. And it makes so much more sense that like the teeth in the napkin thing that's really easy for college students to get. It's actually really easy for you to get human teeth, actually. It makes way more sense. Like if you, at the very end of the scene where they're running around the house, it makes way more sense that they just were trapping her in the basement where they could kill her. And the other guy was in the corner because he didn't want to watch her die. Basically, then other people like running around and then a witch coming in and running around and going back and forth and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait, the Blair Witch Project is a good movie. My whole life is a lie. Like my entire existence is like completely unraveled and I hate it so much.
I can't watch that one.
No?
Motion sickness.
Oh yeah, found footage became,
I can't do it.
I can't, most found footage movies I had to like take a Dramamine before I like, watched them.
The kaiju one that the kid loves.
Cloverfield.
Yeah, I barely made it through that one, but it was so good. I was like, no, I'm just gonna like look at the ceiling for a minute and listen, and then I can come back to it. But like, I could barely make it through that one.
There's a really specific scene in Cloverfield that makes me really mad because it's TJ Miller talking to this girl. And he says something about Garfield, and this girl and TJ Miller's been trying to get with this girl the entire night, and she's very clearly not interested. And as soon as he mentions Garfield, she goes, "You know who Garfield is?"
Who doesn't?
And then she goes, "Wait, do you know Superman? Like, do you know what Superman is?" And I'm like, why are these two of the most popular pop culture things in the world?
Especially since, like, even if you've been underground for your entire life, Superman still already existed.
Exactly. Like what do you mean? She's like, wow, you're really interesting. You like all the weird things that I like. I'm not like other girls.
Oh my gosh. You know what water is?
Wow.
Wow.
I'm not like other girls. I watch Game of Thrones. Oh, you mean the most popular show in America? Like, okay. I have a horrible confession to make. I am obsessed with YouTube Shorts. And, well, when I get really depressed, I'm obsessed with YouTube Shorts. And through exclusively YouTube Shorts, I know everything that happens in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. I just found out everything that happened. I know who dies when, why certain people are significant.
I got the same info.
Like, I was just like,
no need to
and
watch
now
it.
I've become like obsessed with this show where I'm like, I have no intention of going back and watching this show. I just know what happens, and now I actually want to watch House of the Dragon. That show is horrifying.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh my god.
It's really bad. Like, I watched it until they killed off
Pedro Pascal?
Yep. Until they killed him, and then I was like, fuck this, I'm out.
Spoiler.
Oh man, yeah.
It's like, it is so old, everybody knows he died.
Everyone gets so mad when Pedro
I haven't
Pascal
watched
dies.
it yet.
Are you going to?
No.
You are now. I'm going to make you.
Now we're going to watch Game of Thrones. Oh no. People just get so mad when Pedro Pascal dies. Like it awakens like a visceral reaction.
It was the fight itself. They did a really good job
yeah.
in building up. Like, they started out with his character as like just this like fancy boy kind of don't care. I'm a prince. I'm rich. I all I care about is my silks kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then like you see who he is, and I swear to God, it is formulaic in Game of Thrones. Piece of shit. Oh, I kind of like him. Oh, now you're dead.
Now he's
just
dead.
been, oh, I kind of like you. Now you're dead.
Oh man.
Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. I really like to play this game with shows and movies that I watch where I cast the people in my life in the show. It helps me watch it a little bit better.
You used to do that at the store all the time.
I do it all the time. I do it all the time, and I do it with everything I watch. And I call Corey and I go, please tell me I'm not Cersei Lannister. Please just tell me I'm not Cersei. And he goes, oh God, no. Like, why would you think that about yourself? I'm like, okay, I can be real mean sometimes. And he's like, you're not a sadist. No, you're fine. I was like, okay, cool. And he goes, no, you're egret. And I'm like, I can live with that. That's fine. And I was like, who's Kyle, my boyfriend's cousin? And he goes, that guy might be Sam. The kid that like is the doctor and everything. I'm like, he's not Hodor, right? It's like, dear God, no. Like, okay, it's just making sure.
Hodor is like
Yeah, I know who that is.
Okay. I was gonna say he's like George from
Drew
Tell Me
has
About the Rabbits.
explained him to me.
Drew really likes to explain things to people. I find it adorable. I understand that it's not. It's not adorable to everyone else, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you know, you fell in love with a nerd. That's what you do, is you just listen to them talk about the things that you don't care about, but they really care about
but
it.
But then eventually you start to care about them because you're like, hey, that's kind of cool.
That happened to me today. I've discovered that I have every intention of getting really into Zelda. Like, I don't remember what was happening, but I was researching something, and Wikipedia takes me down a really dark hole sometimes.
Every time?
And I just read the entire character development of Zelda, like as a person and who she is and what she does the entire time. And I'm like, wait, why has nobody ever talked about this? She's really cool. And everyone, yeah. And then like everybody talks about how cool Zelda is all the time. And I'm like, oh, I get it. This is fun.
The kid wants to do a whole episode just on Zelda, and then another one just on Dragon Age. And like, we're just gonna set the two kids loose with the camera equipment and be like, "Have fun, guys. We'll sit back and watch the chaos."
I want to be here for the Zelda episode because I'm still not very well versed in it, and I just want to be like, yeah, okay. What else happens? Like, let's go.
Kid has like all the development books. Like,
yeah.
We made them the little fancy like Zelda iPad or Link iPad that they have in the game.
The Sheikah Slate.
Okay.
That's so cool.
And they have one of those that we made them. And
that's so cool. See, I wish that my kid did that. She's 12 and she's...
Give her time.
She's not a...
Seventh graders hate everything.
Yeah, she hates everything, but she's not... I really thought she was going to be a much more nerdy kid. And I'm not disappointed with who she is or anything, but I know she hasn't really found her thing yet.
And she'll find it.
But I keep throwing things at her. I really liked this when I was a kid. I really liked this when I was a kid. The closest thing that I've found is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, because she's like, wait, you like this show? And I'm like, kiddo, I was a junior in high school when I was watching this show. This show smacks. What are you talking about? And she's like, oh, okay, cool. She's like, is it because you're a combination of Rainbow Dash and Applejack? And I'm like, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, first of all. But no, I just like the show, dang it. I don't know. She really does like Greek mythology a lot, so that's really fun that I get to talk to her about this. She's a huge Lore Olympus fan.
It's a good one. I kind of put off because I don't normally do webcomics.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. So many that I have to read.
Yeah.
Like, finding a new rabbit hole to dive down is always bad.
It's stressful.
Because I'll never get to this stuff.
Yeah, I actually got into... so One Piece is my favorite anime, as you guys have heard, both of you have heard me talk about at length, and I don't even work at the store anymore. But I was aware of One Piece when I was maybe 10 years old. And I immediately saw that show and I said, no, because I'm not going to be able to like that in a chill way. And it's going to be my entire personality. And my home life isn't great as it is right now. And I don't need to get bullied for this on top of it. So we're going to shelf this later and then we're going to watch it. And I became obsessed.
And lucky for you, they're on like episode 1,000.
Yeah, I'm not even. I think I just made it to 600. Like we're on episode 2 post time skip. Like it's bad. I'm so far behind. But there's.
I was looking, and I think I saw that manga volume 102 is coming out, like either later this month or next month.
Oh, geez. And the creator says he's 80% done with it. And I'm like, how? There's so much more to happen. Like, what do you mean? There's so much that you haven't done. And I'm just not excited for One Piece, the next generation, where it's just Boruto or Boruto. Burrito is what I call him. Where it's just like, oh, it's all of their kids. No, I don't care. Let me have my 1,500 episodes and then just let it die, okay?
Yeah,
let me die. You had this wonderful epic of a story. I've just seen so many times where you had this really beautiful thing and you just had to make more money on it.
Yeah.
So you ruined it.
And then you do stuff like they did with the Inuyasha world. Where
Supernatural.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I've been making Drew and Kyle watch Inuyasha. Because it's so funny because I just get to walk around and go, what do you want, Kagome?
But that's definitely one that they should have left alone.
Yes.
Because now you have the one dude that had a kid with that little girl that he was traveling around with.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Sashomaru.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That was a thing that happened. I had every few months. So one conversation that I was having with my brother one time, I just gave him my category of husbandos. And I, every few weeks, I'll find a new husbando and I'll just add him to the list. For some reason, my brother's like message log is my like husbando list. And I had to text him and be like, hey, you got to take Sashomaru out of there. And he's like, he wasn't like making excuses or anything, but he was like, what? It's anime. And I'm like, that's a lot even for anime. Like, I'm good. Like, no, we got to take Sashomaru out of there. And he's like, okay.
That's the monk guy, right?
No. Sashomaru is Inuyasha's older brother.
Oh, okay.
He's the full wolf demon guy.
I watched it the once when you introduced it to the kids and have not come back to it.
You're
I know who Shippo is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if we're playing the casting game, that's Kyle.
Kyle is Shippo.
Yeah.
I kind of okay. No, maybe I don't. I kind of never want to know who I am in your shows.
I usually see the thing is when we start to get to like extended people, I start like I especially with you two, I get really into like, oh, well, that doesn't fit because Jen would never do this, or that doesn't fit because Travis would never do this. If I had to say anybody for Travis, I would probably say there is a guy in One Piece that if we're doing One Piece, then Travis is this one fish man in One Piece where you meet him very early on, where he's one of Arlong's pirates, and he's kind of a starfish dude. Well, he's like a starfish crab guy, and he's the only one of the Arlong pirates that isn't a total douchebag.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but you meet him way later in the series, and he's since renounced being a pirate, and he just takes care of this little mermaid girl and makes sure, because she keeps getting kidnapped over and over again because mermaids are really expensive in the slave trade, and he just makes octopus balls constantly all the time, and he just makes the most wonderful takoyakis ever, and that's just him, and he's just like sitting and he just wants to hang out, has the capacity to like fuck you up, but just wants to make his octopus balls. Like,
Love it.
I just want to make takoyaki and take care of my fish girl.
that's all I want to do. It's not that hard. Also, there's a starfish that's there who talks like the baby from Roger Rabbit. I figured that was one of your kids. Like, or something.
Possibly.
Yeah, probably Val.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what time it is.
Well, let's let Kate share where to find her so people can follow, our like 3 viewers can
Oh,
follow all
okay.
your stuff.
Awesome. I am Keeks and Kooks on TikTok and Katie from the podcast on Instagram. That's pretty much the only things that I'm on. I stick needles in people and sometimes I yell and cry in my car.
And as soon as my brain is fixed, you're going to put a pretty on my arm.
We do. I am going to give you guys stabby pretty pictures. We got to figure out what Travis's stabby pretty picture is.
I want a Torquemada.
What? You want octopus balls?
Did
No,
you just say Takamata? Like the Inquisitor?
Torquemada, yeah.
Like the High Inquisitor from the Spanish Inquisition.
Ooh.
Takamata.
Cool.
But can you have Dave Grohl's face?
Okay, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen.
See if I can-
And we're doing it. I swear to God, if you ruin that with Dave Grohl, I'm going to be so pissed.
That's him underneath the mask.
In here, it is. And that's the worst part. Because, like, in my heart of hearts, I'll know that that's what it was. I hate it so much.
No, he's the villain from Nemesis the Warlock.
I love it. I'm so excited. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Get you like a whole Judge Dredd, like 2080 world.
Yeah, I
Sweet.
want like a Nemesis and
Yes.
a Deathlock from ABC Warriors.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
so down. Let's go.
So,
All right, here we go.
when I was a kid, I had a pet rock. Thinking about him now makes me feel so sentimental. No?
Sediment. Okay, I'm in the flow. My brain is broken. Stop judging me.
See, I was just deep sighing because I was disappointed.
Oh no, I was deep sighing because I'm like, I don't get. Okay, the first time we did this, I argued with my whole chest about Moses and his ark. So,
Yeah, the birds lay eggs.
Yeah.
you both can fuck.
All right. How about this? There's supposed to be a new time travel movie coming out next year. It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Are you hinting that you time traveled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
you don't like that one?
Eat the patriarchy. That was tell her the patriarchy joke.
Patriarchy.
All right. How did that go? It was like,
Why are there Pop-Tarts, but not?
why are there Pop-Tarts but no Mom-Tarts?
Patriarchy.
Because of the patriarchy.
And I want an eat the patriarchy shirt.
I want to eat the patriarchy
Right?
shirt.
Is that going to just be your
That's
next
my
tattoo?
next tattoo. Eat the patriarchy.
Eat the patriarchy.
Just a white Pop-Tart with a mustache, just with a bite out of it.
Eat the patriarchy.
Oh my God, I love it.
It's not any weirder than my wizard riding a fucking zombie T-Rex.
Yes. So down.
Join us next time when Jen says...
Eat the patriarchy? I'm sorry, I got nothing.
Wow, how original. Good night, everybody.
I just wanted to say that I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd too.
In love with a nerd.